The fucking New York Knicks won. God bless America. God bless the Seven Seas. God bless the Knicks, New York,
New
Jalen
York.
Brunson, his family. God bless Karl Anthony Towns, the Dominican Republic.
Of
God
course.
bless Josh Hart and Villanova. God bless Landry Shamet and his NBA career. Gave the
Yep.
Knicks pretty fucking great quality minutes, I will add. So the Knicks won. What was the final score? Like 111 to like
Yeah, I think
92?
one. Yeah, 94, 92.
Yeah. Who gives a fuck? They
It
lost.
fucking
Who
was.
cares? It doesn't fucking matter.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
finally here after they won. They did
God.
it.
Ooh, man. And I will say the Knicks, they actually played a full game of defense.
Who would have thought?
Who would have
Who,
thunk
who would
it?
have thought we'd see the day?
Holy shit.
Holy shit. Oh my god, when you play defense, they don't score. Isn't that crazy?
Wait. If you're like, put a body on them and you're like, stuck to them like white on rice, it's almost like it's harder to make a shot.
When they're not wide open, they might miss it. Isn't that's crazy? What a concept!
Right? Who would have thunk it? Guys, this is revolutionary, honestly.
Really, Tibbs should be coach of the year for that alone. Finally saying we can play defense.
Tibbs, come on. Come on, Tibbs, finally. I mean, they
Um,
did such a good job on Halliburton in this game to where they didn't
mhm.
let him pretty much get anything. Anything free, at least. There was like one drive he had on Cat, but that's pretty much it. He didn't even take I don't even think he took 10 shots in the entire game.
Yeah, and Rick Carlisle benched him,
Yeah. He was like,
which in game five, that makes sense. You're up 3-1, so it makes sense. But still,
yeah. I mean, and if the Knicks just play that level of defense, they can win the game with their scoring because they can score. Like, and what I liked about it is that they were moving the ball a lot. They made Josh Hart more of a playmaker instead of just having it be Brunson all the damn time. And you really saw how much better the offense just felt and looked overall with Josh Hart
and
being that guy.
yeah, and I think it comes down to the defense, and we talked about it like 2 days ago. The turnovers, the disparity was so different. They got out on fast break points, and they were able to create enough noise defensively that they were able to kind of mix their offensive scheme up, where it wasn't all isolation, it wasn't all pick and roll. They beat the Pacers in a lot of different ways tonight. And look, we talked about before. This Knicks team can score, and anyone can score in this Indiana team. Indiana team does not have a great defensive scheme. Jalen Brunson is owning whoever is guarding him. But it's going to come down to Karl Anthony Towns, and he needs to be that kind of secondary scorer that can provide with Brunson, and that them two together is unstoppable. I mean, Indiana has no answer for both of them when they're both going. I think that's what you saw tonight. It's just a really solid offensive and a more impressive defensive performance from the Knicks tonight.
Yeah. And what I also liked is that the game plan they had with Brunson, they had him off the ball a lot more. And I felt like that was just pretty much easier for him because Jalen Brunson is very ball dominant, but when he's off the ball, other guys could create their own shots. And then Jalen Brunson comes off a pin down. Boom. Now he has way more space from, what's his name? Aaron Neesmith, for example. Right? Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Neesmith is on him like white on rice. So how do you counteract that? Get him off the ball. Set some screens. Right? He comes down off a screen. Now he has a little bit of room to operate and get into the paint. By the way, the Knicks had like almost 60 paint points.
Yeah.
They dominated the paint. And they won the turnover battle. Finally. Thank you. Thank you, most
Oh, who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Thank you. And they just were active on defense.
Yes.
Finally. That's pretty much
Finally.
like if you it's funny because this Indiana team is so beatable. but yet you can't beat them. You know what I mean? Like if you just play the right way, oh, just give effort on defense and you could probably force them to miss a lot. Oh, just get into the paint and move the ball around. Oh, just don't give the ball to them off a turnover. You'll be all right. It's like this is
Dude,
common knowledge.
I think part of it is when they're hitting their threes and when like they're really in rhythm, they have such momentum. It's hard to break it. They're a really big momentum team. But this is the thing with a 7 game series is that if you have the time to adjust and you're a good and you say you're a good defensive coach, you should be able to break this team down and do enough defensively to stop them. Right? Cavaliers did not have the right defensive scheme to do that. You know, the Bucks definitely did not have the no. And New York, again, like they don't need to play like an elite level offense or an elite level defense. They have the players and the capabilities to stop them enough that you can't like. This wasn't a perfect game from New York by any means. The scoreline, is really dominant. It shows a really good game. But New York made mistakes. They were in foul trouble a lot. They let Indiana into the game. Indiana just did not have a really good shooting performance. But sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But it was the defensive pressure that you had on them early on that forced them into tough shots and put them on the back foot that allowed you to kind of work your way into the game and not have. If you're fighting an uphill battle against Indiana, you're not winning. So by the Knicks taking such an early lead, by playing a high tempo, high pressure defense on Indiana early and forcing them into bad shots, you build momentum, you build out your scheme, and you're able to put pressure on them even further. And it allows you to kind of take a step back a little bit and work a little bit more. And it takes them out of their rhythm because then they have to slow down in terms of slowing you down. You know what I mean? So it's like a counter-attacking offense in that kind of way. The Knicks did that really well tonight. And I thought that kind of scheme is what could work against an Indiana squad that has a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah. I really want to see how this game six is gonna look now. Like, what are the adjustments gonna be made from Indiana now? Right? Like, are they
I don't know what
going
you're
to
talking about. I mean,
right?
did the Knicks win the series right now? I mean, like, do we have to play Game 6 right now? I
They
mean, isn't it over?
they do unfortunately
God.
have to play game six. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Make your point. Go ahead.
Like, I really just want to see how the Pacers are going to kind of counteract this pressure, right? Like, are they going to now try to get Halliburton more off the ball, right? See if he can get his shot going early. Are they going to continue to attack the paint? Are they just going to keep on trying to run? And if, I just want to see how, if the Knicks keep up this play, how are the Pacers going to respond? Because the Pacers in the half court aren't that great offensively. Like, you can shut them down. Like, Halliburton can't really get by anybody unless it's like Karl Anthony Towns or Mitchell Robinson.
Hmm.
So if you don't have any switches on him with a big, it's going to be very difficult for the other guys to get going because then Halliburton is just trying to create for guys who are like, I don't know, dribble penetration on Mikal Bridges wasn't really working this game, right? And now you're taking a tough shot because guys are staying home, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see game six. I have a lot more confidence in the Knicks right now going into this game six than I did before this game five happened, all because of how they played defensively. And if they could just keep doing this, they could easily push this to 7 games and potentially win 7 games.
Look, you know me. I'm more pessimistic than you are. I did see a lot of problems in this game, especially closing out quarters and how they ended the second half and midway through the third period, where they kind of let up a little bit and allowed Indiana back into the game. Look, I think the first quarter of Game 6 is going to be the most important and the most pivotal, right? if the Knicks can get off to a great start, scoring and defensively wise, you have an Indiana team that already has a lot of pressure on it at home. You kind of quiet that building a little bit. You can kind of take a lot of the pressure off yourself. It doesn't mean you can let off, but it means that you can kind of establish a good tone. Because Indiana, when they struggle to kind of counteract a tone, they don't really do too well, right? They're not a great come from behind team early on. They're good later on in the game, but not early on. So if you can establish a really good first quarter like we did tonight, and you can establish a really good defensive presence, and you can make it you force them into tough shots, you kind of can expect the same thing, right? And you can kind of allow yourself to have that cushion that you can go into the second half or the third quarter and have a bit of a different mindset, right? You have a lot of momentum and a lot of like strength in that area. But here's the thing, right? The Knicks have to be consistent now because we've seen big game for Karl Anthony Towns, bad game the next game. Big game for Karl Anthony Towns, bad game the next game, right? You now need Karl Anthony Towns to be what he's brought in here to do, and that's to be a great secondary scorer, right? He needs to have the same night he had tonight, offensively and defensively. I think Mitchell Robinson on the court is a big plus. And even the bench, shout out DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet, they were big. They got to continue to be that. You now are in a situation where you can't afford to have an off night. Everybody needs to play their part and do their part. And that starts with Brunson and Towns. So if you can get off to a really good start in the first quarter and Brunson and Towns are clicking throughout the whole game, the Knicks would have no problem. But again, reiterate the point, you have to establish a tone defensively early on like you did tonight.
We'll see, man. I'm so ready for this game 6 right now because I don't know, man. If they can just have a touch of consistency, just a touch, not a lot, just a little sprinkle of consistency in their play, it's game 7 in the Garden. That's how I feel, right? If they come into this game, flat-footed, and the rotations aren't there defensively, and they're giving Indiana too much space, then I'm like, all right, are we reverting? You know what I mean? Are we going back to what lost us games 1 and then also game 2? Are we just gonna revert back to that game 4 as well? Like, You're absolutely 100% right. Like, the start of the game, they have to get out in front because then the Knicks are, in my opinion, they're really good with playing with a lead, and when they put the pressure on teams, obviously you have game 1, but for me, I think that was an outlier because ain't no way somebody's making like 10 shots in a row from 3, right? That's not happening night to night.
Unless their name's Stephen Curry.
Or Aaron Nesmith. Did you forget? Forgot him. Forgot that guy.
No, trust me. Trust me. Trust me. I did not forget it. Trust me.
It's so when the Knicks are able to, I guess it's kind of like the same way in football or like in any other sport. You have more space to like play free, I guess.
Yeah.
Like when you have the lead, you could be more aggressive on defense, right? You can be a lot more selective on offense now because you have that lead. So you're able to take more risks on defense and be in passing lanes, get up on somebody's grill, right? Really contest the shot. So as long as they can start out fast and, kind of negate that run and gun style of Indiana early, I think they'll have a lot later success later on in the game.
Yeah. Look, I think this is today was a must win for New York, and I never felt like they were going to lose. Game 6 is a must win for Indiana, and you have to see how they respond to that because that's a different kind of pressure, So that's going to be very telling of this Pacer team. And again, if the Knicks can get off to a good early start, you put even more pressure on top of that. So we'll see. I think I'm in a better headspace than I was after Game 4 with this team. But I still don't like the turnovers. I still don't like the way OG's been playing offensively. Mikhail was really good tonight. I'll give him that. But I really do like the bench. Robinson was really good tonight. Towns was really good tonight. So there's still some areas that could get better and that could really put this team over the top in this series. That if you can get that in Game 6, you roll the dice in Game 7, and here we go. You know, so Game 6 is uber important, but it's a game. I would say it's a game the Knicks can steal. You know what I mean? In the same way that the Pacers stole Game 1, this feels like a game the Knicks can go into Indiana. It'd probably be a close game, but they can come out of here with a win and steal it and bring it back to the Garden. That'll be probably what could happen.
Score prediction. What are you thinking in Game 6?
I think after all we said, I don't think Indiana allows the Knicks to get off to that kind of start. I think it goes very much I think it's going to be another high scoring game, another high tempo game. But I do think the Knicks adjust. I do think it is another close game. And I do think it'll come down to the last 4 or 5 minutes again. Look, for the NBA's sake, for my sanity, and for the overall drama, I'm gonna say Knicks win 125-120.
I'm kind of there as well. I think that the Pacers, they sometimes just, they miss their shots. They can't shoot 80% all the time, right?
Right?
You know what I mean?
Right? Like,
right? What a
he's no
luxury,
way.
right? Right? We can't
No
shoot
way.
80 all the time, right? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say, Knicks hit some big shots early. Have a good lead going into half. Pacers cut it down late in the third. Knicks hit some good shots in the fourth. Pacers, they're fighting back, but it's ultimately not enough. 117, 113. Knicks win. Let's go. Game 7 in the Garden. Timothy Chalamet, Ben Stiller, Spike Lee, Trey. What's his name?
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan. The woman from Law and Order. The woman from Law and Order, right? We're gonna have Spider Cuz. He's gonna be there. We're gonna have the whole Bronx. They're gonna be there. Everybody from the Bronx who's of Latin descent. You're there. We're gonna have every.
Even Tuttle will be there.
Exactly.
There you go. American pride.
We're gonna have every Italian mobster there, just in case something goes awry. We could pull somebody into the back and
Listen. It's all protection. It's all protection.
What's the guy's name? Who's the guy on Philly who wears like the Italian thing? Big Vinny or something. He could be there, right? Just for protection.
Just protection.
That's it. He's really a New York guy. You know what I mean? That's it. That's it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm real excited because they played the way that I think that they can play and the level that they can play up to. Now they just have to do it again.
Yeah.
That's literally all it is. And Tom Thibodeau needs to be preaching this. You have to do what you did out there again. And then again.
One more time.
One more time after that. Because going into OKC, it's a whole different game plan. You got to do what you just did again.
Let's get through Game 6 before we bring up the Thunder. Okay? Calm down.
I'm not going to lie.
I
watching the Thunder play basketball,
yeah,
I'm frightened. The way that they just sit in passing lanes, because they know that you can't get by them. So they're like, you're going to have to pass the ball. So I don't know what the fuck you're waiting on. You're just going to turn the ball over. Oh, yeah, you want to go one-on-one? Yeah, Casey Wallace, yeah. Yeah, Aaron Wiggins. Yeah, the ninth guy on our bench. Yeah, we'll lock you up. Yeah, that's it. Like those boys are bad, bro.
They're so
Bad.
good.
They're so
They're
fucking good.
really good.
And they're the youngest team in the league. Sam
I
Preston.
know. He's got to win like manager of the decade. Manager of the decade with what he's done there. He has to.
if he ends this decade with one, I think with like 2 chips, manager of the 2020s, 100%. I think you gotta give it to him.
Yeah.
Especially like if they win like 3 in 5 years, fucking forget about it. Forget about it.
This is a conversation we could have.
Yeah, true.
Tomorrow, but like, who's stopping them in the West? That's the ball. I'm gonna really say
Luka's not.
the Rockets.
Oh. What about the Memphis Grizzlies? What about them? You guys didn't mention Memphis and Golden State. Like, shut up. Like, nobody fucking. But
Ooh, the Los Angeles Clippers and Kawhi Leonard when he's healthy. Ooh,
let's go Knicks.
Airy.
Knicks in 6. Knicks in 7. Knicks in 10. Knicks in 11. They're gonna win. Doesn't matter.
I hope so.
This has been the Get Back. Thank you for watching. Game 5 reaction. We'll be back for Game 6.
Win or lose,
we will be here. We'll see you guys on, what is it, Saturday? No, we'll see you guys on Friday because we'll be recording. Well, Saturday.
We're recording Friday, but it'll be on Saturday.
We'll see y'all Saturday. You'll
see.
see.
We'll see you when we see you.
We'll see
okay.
you when we see you. All right. What do you want from me? Come on.
I'll be here. I'll be here. You're gonna be here. You're not gonna be here. Right? That's it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I try my best.
If you want to come back, you come back. That's it. What do I? What do I? Do you want to come back? It's up to you. It's up to you. Your choice.
We'll see you guys on Saturday. Peace.
Yeah.